Hey everyone. Back to trying to stream regularly. Still feel like this crap just about every day, but yeah, you know, maybe I'll feel better at some point, and I do want to finish this game some year at this point. Should have made it much smaller. Let this be a life lesson to everyone. Start with a plan and, you know, not a dream. Dream doesn't really work very well. A plan. Plan works much better. Do my usual setup crap. Tell the Discord that I am streaming. I have no idea what I'm going to do today. Mostly just been sitting around going all day. I did go to physical therapy. It was okay. A little more painful than some other days. It's like, but physical therapy is not supposed to be fun, it's supposed to help. I appreciate how excited my physical therapist is whenever anything goes right. He's one of those types. Easily excitable. Oof. Oh, so let's do something else. Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, the Discord message. I hadn't even checked my wish list in months. Which is kind of sad, to be honest. It just hasn't been at the forefront of my mind, really. Just health problems have been the forefront of the problem. Oh, forefront of my mind. All right. What was I even doing? They're just trying to test. I'm gonna turn the AC on real fast. One sec. It might be 2 in the morning, but that doesn't stop it from being, you know, 80 plus degrees outside. And, well, it's not really sunny California right now. It's obviously nighttime, but in California. Northern California, so it should be cooler, but it can still hit 115 degrees here, so hasn't yet this year that it doesn't do that. Maybe I'll just run a play test, see where I'm even at, remind myself what needs to be done, and just go from there. Or I can load some toys up in here and start adding to these. I guess that's the Now it sticks out. You can shrink it down. Oh, I forgot. 5.7 had that problem where they don't refresh. It'll refresh as soon as the thing loads up or something, but or when I reload the level, but it doesn't refresh otherwise because 5.7 folks, 5.7. 5.8 doesn't quite work right. I need a new version of Daz to Unreal, and I would lose crystal nodes, but crystal nodes is just an extra fun looking thing. It doesn't matter. You gotta write something on these, so I'll start doing that. Start putting more things up here in this little shop, like prices for things. $1 might be too much. I don't know what prices were, things like that, so I might change prices later. I don't know. Sure. Why change all the information on there when I could just copy it over? Why attempt to copy it over when Unreal Engine could just not? I feel like that actually forced it to fix itself. I'll have to remember that. I can duplicate it to fix it, and then just delete the duplicate. Actually. Oh, hello. Where am I at? Every once in a while it just jumps, and then you get that weird disorienting, where did it go? Am I? Yeah, I'll do this. And I haven't adjusted the size of the text. I'm figuring like this is basically like the 1920s type of era, so prices should be more reflective of when things didn't cost $1 bajillion. I'm assuming. Maybe I'll just decorate things. I've been meaning to decorate a lot of these places for a while, and I haven't. I guess I should actually thumbs up my own crap too. Because the algorithm likes that. I don't know. I just figure if I start streaming regularly for like an hour or two a day, at least I'll pretend like I still care. I might care, just... Man. Things are rough sometimes. I kind of want to put this somewhere else so that it can look like it's for sale. It has to be really big to fit that in there. That hat is so big. It's pretty funny how big the hat is, so it's intentionally like that, but... I mean, it could go over in this corner and the bouncing balls could go over there. How big is the bouncing ball thing? Okay, we're gonna do this thing where I unload a bunch of rooms so I can click crap. Let's unload the library. Can I click crap now? Thanks. Please click on the little smoke. This music always makes me think I'm playing the games that's used in one of the rooms, and it was kind of the town theme for the RPG Maker version. It's probably better if this is over here, actually. And then the Anizons could go over here. I saw a card. Yeah, all the cards are still floating here. Should have done this in a different order. Part of the problem is moving things around also it provides new areas for Poppet to jump at, but here it's not some complicated system for how to do it. It's really not. She does need a way to get up there, but I could make it a double jump thing where you gotta come back later. I am really tempted to move Anizons back to that hallway. Maybe I should. So this gives you a reason to find this area. Like if you don't find Anizons, you miss out on potentially 4 levels. Which is not nothing. That's probably better, because here, like, you wouldn't be able to actually get at half the crap on the shelves. If anything, the shelves should probably go across here and prevent reaching that. That's true. Bouncing balls don't really fit between, though, right? And these shelves are too big too, so I'll have to make some new shelves, I guess. Or just put something straight across the top. Yeah, they don't really fit. Unless the ball thing is fairly large anyway. Why do I have the lights off for this? Stupid. Hard to position things and get them next to something in the dark. Well, harder than it needs to be for sure. I guess I just gotta make specialized shelves for this one, or just, I'm just gonna run a board across the top. That's all I really need to do. Easiest way to set this up. I just need to know how big it was. I also want to browse the asset. This is how I find it. I was looking to figure out exactly how thick they were. It's 0.05 is how thick they are. Been having a flea problem here for the last few weeks, so little bastards jump on me all the time. It's annoying. I've been at war with them for a bit, for sure. Really gonna have to rebuild being consistent here, so I can get people who hang out and chat. Yeah. Tell my health fat, really, seriously. Like, I would have been such a great streamer if my health didn't crap out all the time. For years. because it's funny, I've actually been more popular so many times over and then had to rebuild the popularity every single time. So it's like, doesn't seem very good. Takes a long time to build the popularity and very little time to lose it for those people keeping track. It's okay. Maybe by the time I build the popularity the next time, I'll actually have released the game. Right? I don't know. I didn't start this with the intention of being a streamer. I started with the intention of being a game dev. I just happened to stream it. It'll probably be fine. I gotta have something that looks like it holds it up, for sure. Some structural thing, because otherwise it's kind of like... People will wonder this. Like, it's okay if the dolls come to life and fight to the death at night, but heaven forbid you have a shelf that doesn't hold itself up. That's just weird, right? Yeah, it's part, but I don't need platforming in this area, per se. I really want to make all these things breakable. Because it's more fun to break things. Maybe that's what I do. I just have breakable everything. Wow, except the duckies. No one breaks the duckies. The duckies are indestructible. Because they're fun. Well, this is a place where I could actually have the names of things and just toys that don't come to life or something for some reason. Fair enough. I mean, I guess I could just set pillars up too. I already have a pillar. No, I don't. I merged them all together. It's okay, I can make a pillar. Unless I already had one? Maybe? I don't remember all the crap I've made. I also don't think I renamed this from what it originally was. That's okay. Yeah, it was originally called the Campfire, but it is not that anymore. Right. Okay, well, I'll just make a new one then. Or I could do a board across and look like that. I might just have pillars holding it up, I guess. It's kind of weird having it right next to the pillars. I guess this board could go on top. Nah, I don't like that. The moment I said it, I hated it. And the shells don't really have enough space to move over, particularly. They're kind of set for the right size. I'd have to remake the whole shelf. That sounds like a lot of extra work that I'm not about to do. I'm gonna have to make like an end shelf essentially for this. Not that wide though, probably. I'll probably do like 5. Too often I end up looking for assets to make things, like, you know, pre-made stuff, but the reality is most pre-made assets are completely useless for what I'm doing. And you really want assets that are, you just custom make them for the most part using like geometry brushes, and that's usually good enough, at least for all the furniture and things. You don't really need the other stuff. It's kind of weird. Let's go in both directions. Of course it does. Will it look phenomenal? How about that? We even have a board up there, I imagine. So it looks like it'll be pillar and pillar, and then this box in between, I guess. Need to be a smaller pillar. Maybe like that. I guess I could shrink the ball box a little bit. But can I though? Maybe. Why do that? And fine if you jump behind here because you can get out, and that's all that matters really. Being able to get stuck in areas while not being truly stuck is kind of makes you feel small, and that's good. Because I want you to feel small. If you don't feel small, I haven't done a very good job. I'll fix all the meshes later. When I feel like it, I guess. Actually, just 0.1. 0.5. We'll do 0.1 and see where that puts me. Not as thick. Oops. 0.5. 3. 0.2. I'm gonna put up next to this. I don't know what I'm doing. Needs to be roughly the same size. Yeah, I think working on it on stream really matters a lot. My game dev gets done a lot faster, but more importantly, I just kind of start making things if I'm streaming. If I'm not streaming, then I might start thinking about all this weird crap and it'll get all complicated, and it doesn't need to be that complicated. I literally just need to start making whatever. Because I didn't think about, oh, I should fix all the things in this shelf and, you know, in this store here and make it actually complete so it's not like a half-finished room like it's been for so long. It's like, wasn't even on my list, but why not? This room's in the demo. I should probably finish it, right? Instead of adding extra attention to rooms that are already good enough for at least a playtest. Maybe not good enough for the full-on demo, but, you know, not bad. But here I am just ignoring the rooms that aren't even finished. Oh yeah, when I was originally going to speed up the music whenever there was combat, but then there was always combat, so there was no point. It's also annoying to hear it constantly restart. But it actually came out pretty good. I hate using geo brushes on this map because it takes forever to select all the sides like this. I don't know why, there's almost no geo brushes on this map. I always convert them to static meshes, but it'll take forever to select them all. Still trying. Would have been almost instant on any other map. I need to build this to a certain size, so moving all them, moving them back is not like the best. Get them all yet? No, Jesus. Might have to though. Unreal Engine's not really designed to have a lot of things on a map. They'll pretend like they do, but you don't have a functional game at that point. You can have a bunch of idiots walking around, sure, but when you start adding in gameplay elements and things that do stuff, it doesn't work like that. Especially if you start layering them on top of each other like I'm doing. This is a big mistake. You want your stuff to actually operate well. I think I was just stretching regular blocks there or something. I don't know. Definitely has an interesting look when you do that. It's just so many sides. I think these were a static mesh that was stretching. I'm not sure I like this particular look, but whatever. First off, it's going to be at night. And second of all, I don't super care. Because if things look intentionally fake, it is supposed to be like a theme park in a building, so, you know, things looking fake is kind of expected. Right? It is fake. It's not real. I mean, like, well, I mean, it's a real shelf, but be like a mock-up of something like that's supposed to look like nature, and, you know, like someone carved the shelves out of regular wood. It's all fake stuff. I'll call this a back shelf. Well, back shelf hole. I renamed the file, but it doesn't rename it here. But I'm gonna do that so I can keep track of things a little better. Because geometry brushes are incredibly heavy, so you really don't want to leave them anywhere if you can avoid it. Well, actually, there's a lot of space here. I didn't realize how uncentered this was. I guess how not centered. Uncentered doesn't make a lot of sense. Just bad English. English. It's fine. I'm okay with English. Well, I kind of want to just outright block. I don't want to like a tiny gateway between things, because then Poppet could run on it and that could lead to a problem. Also could hide something back there, kinda, if I felt like it. These are kind of big. I almost want these like signs to be smaller, probably. How big is this sign? I want them all the same size, roughly. That's a text transform. They're all at 2. Edit the main one so I don't gotta change all of them, because that's annoying. Lock it down, then we like 1.8, see where that puts them. So much faster than individually changing things. Of course, I'm going to have to move them all up, or do I have to though? Maybe not. They could just be stuck to the front there. I could put nails in the front of it too. Maybe smaller signs are nicer. I think they are. I also don't necessarily need shelves over here if there's an Annie-Zons model over here. Why you'd buy this giant model and then carry it all the way out this place, I have no idea. Like, you'd have to carry it all the way down multiple floors. You're kind of dumb. There's no elevator. Not that elevators didn't exist then, I just couldn't really find a good gameplay way to make them fun. Like, how would Poppet reach the buttons? It's not like there's be something for her to stand on there. It'd be weird. And how do I limit which floor she could go to? It would be kind of pointless. Like, maybe at the very end there could be an elevator, but there's paintings that teleport you all over the place, so it really didn't serve a function, as best I could tell. Which is fine, I mean, I'm just saying. Okay, we're gonna do this thing where I move them all up some, probably. Am I moving them up though? Well, having a bit offset doesn't seem wrong to me. I could just put 2 little like little dome looking things on these things that act as like screws essentially, or I could make my own individual screw if I wanted. Let me continue making this, not worry about if I want to make a screw or not. Well, it wouldn't even be a screw, it would literally just be nubs on here, because there's no need to have the back end of it. You can't see that, and if the player can't see it, it might as well not exist, because it doesn't do anything. It's not like it's really physically holding it up. The fact that it's not affected by gravity is holding it up. Actually, that's incorrect. No, it's not movable. So it doesn't make a difference if it's affected by gravity or not. It doesn't move. I kind of want to make everything destroyable, but the issue with that is that that makes everything interactable, and it's really a bigger, heavy strain to have every single static mesh somewhere be interactable. Like, you can make this one static mesh here like that and make this thing destroyable, but I don't know if I'd make all the shells destroyable and everything like that. I mean, you could, but there's a lot of stuff in this game. I don't know about this plan. Seems like a terrible one. I have even more issues with performance. Though, to be fair, the performance is actually really good in this thing, so. Just testing it on a, I believe it was a 1060, and it was getting like 70 to 90 FPS, so it's pretty good, right? Doesn't get that while I'm running on a real engine, but you know, whatever. Don't have spine issues. It's my advice to people. If you don't have spine issues, you'll be much better off. I know, they're cool to have and everyone wants them, but hear me out. You don't want them. You really don't. A back shelf, I guess, sure. Oops. And these things I got from Humble Bundle sure are varied. It's okay, I like the fact they're varied. And then add these to the Creepy Curios thing. Oh yeah, I moved Andy's on yet. I do think I like it better over here though. I had to move farther forward though because it's stuck in the wall, but... And rotate all the cards, sure. You're not floating, are you? Nah, it's just trick of the light. Yeah, I should have probably named this some sort of Alice in Wonderland thing. 100%. Shouldn't hide the chat. Because, I mean, the story doesn't really technically fit an Alice in Wonderland theme at all, but it does give enough vibes for people that it's probably fine. I don't really like those much. I probably should just use the regular pillars. I also didn't make that as wide as it could have been. That was a mistake on my part. Turning into a thing. But to be fair, it is a nighttime thing, so it might not matter that much. Well, I can always just cheat. Not ideal, slightly stretched, but again, you can get away with a lot of things when it's dark, for sure. Things that would not be okay otherwise. I could make those out of a metal instead, and it'd probably look better. Because there was no real reason to make them out of those until I just decided to. Because Because I guess there was like a wooden thing out here. Hmm. Still have the material I need. Why in the world are you using two different materials if you're... I don't know where the other material's being used at, but I guess I'll just switch like that. I don't know, match the theme of this place. I'm not sure if I like the theme of this place as much, but there's also a lot of metal in general around here. I don't actually know what I was going to call these. Maybe I'll call it like Mr. Zappy or something like that. You know, just something that's inane. But now I realize this area lets me name all the characters if I want to give them something. So I just don't know what the name's going to really be. I didn't give them that name when I was making. I think I gave them something boring just because I think I called them a pipe cleaner or something like that because I didn't know what I was going to do with them. They were going to be used in pipe areas, and I was like, okay, well, pipe cleaner, but that's not what they would call a toy like that. It's just not. It makes no sense. Why would you call it call it a pipe cleaner? It sounds like a tool or something. And ever since Saturday, I've been feeling very good. I'm don't get me wrong, over the last 6 months I've been feeling that great. That's why I'm only doing short streams. It's really just to rebuild my, you know, habits towards working on the game. That's really what it is. It has nothing to do with, like, yeah, having an audience is great and all, but I just need something that kind of forces me to get back in the swing of things, you know? Do a quick duplicate just so it does that and then delete the duplicate. Oh. I hate this. That's the thing. Oh, moving and undo fixes it too. Weird. I hope 8 fixes that. You really do. 5.8. I'm guessing how much that would go on the ground. I don't know why you would put toys in the ground. So I don't really have to put anything down there. Once again, the lights being off is pretty annoying. Placing black signs. Yeah. About Tree Fitty. Don't question. Just accept. I guess I don't need this many rubber duckies. What if there are no encounters in this room? That might actually be more creepy and ominous if there were no encounters in this room. Because there's just all these toys that are completely inactive in this store for no reason. That's an interesting idea. Maybe the working theory is they're afraid of Annie's on. Maybe. Yeah, I'm only gonna shoot in 2 hours for sure. I was feeling so bad earlier. I was just like, whoa. Couldn't even read things. It was it's the problem. My neck just pops in weird ways, and suddenly I can't even think straight, and it's just like, not a fan. Is this like a Hey Sarah, how's it going? I'm back again. Trying to convince myself to keep to a schedule. Yes. I guess I don't actually have to do anything with it. I could just use one of the models that already exists for this and not actually merge it. Today I'm rebuilding this room a bit and moving the Annie-Zons over here and starting to fill out the signs and putting toys in here and things. Hey, Double Tower Phone Cup. Nope, not at all. I was very well on track with it, and then about 6 months ago I started having issues walking and ended up going to the hospital and doing stuff, and not a whole lot of game dev happened over the last 6 months for sure. Not at all. Best advice, don't have health problems. It makes you real slow at making games. Hear me out on this one. Soon though, soon. Sure. It's not even soon. I'm 6 months behind for sure. Not much I could do. It's like trying to shrug with this tiny camera here. It doesn't work very well. I guess you gotta shrug like this close. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I've been doing okay. The worst part is I have issues with my spine. So like I'll look fine, but what happens is like my neck will pop in weird ways, and it'll make my arms and limbs go numb or make it hard to even think straight. Also, I'm like gonna fall over things. But I'll still look fine. It doesn't help. I'm definitely better off than I was because I've been battling with the problems for like 6 years now or something. And they are difficult to figure out what's wrong. They haven't really ever figured it out. So it's just kind of been a whatever I can do to hopefully make it fix it. Yeah. I'm only gonna put like one thing of rubber duckies. I don't want to. I'm gonna put more things here so I can name all the toys. But yeah. I've been going to chiropractor, getting deep tissue massage, and doing physical therapy. That is helped. I do physical therapy today. Oh gosh. That lady knows how to beat me up. She gets so excited though. I love that she's excited. She's also like tiny, which is really funny. She's, so, you know, I'm like 6 feet tall and she's got to be like 5'4" or something. She's like, just bend like this, and my god, she is very bendy. I guess if it was my job to do physical therapy people, I would also be pretty bendy. Steam change that suggested games. Small devs say it's not impossible to notice that. Yeah, I'm not expecting to gain notice via Steam. If you want to get noticed on Steam, you need to sit there and build a community on it and do regular updates. That's the best strategy. Like, people build their communities everywhere else, but believe it or not, Steam will start to, you know, show activity in your pages if you sit there and provide like devlogs and updates and things like that, and you also have an active forum. And someone posted in my little forum for the game and I didn't even think to look at it, and it's just like, this person was excited about the game, and it reminded me there's people who go and look at these things, and Steam will start pushing activity. It likes activity. So if you're smart, you build a community everywhere possibly, but yeah. I just forgot that maybe I should build it on Steam of all places. But yeah, you gotta, anything to get your name out. Well, I'm not in that big of a hurry because you still have to advertise an unlimited amount practically to get this done. Chiropractor Simulator next? Pretty much. You know, I could see like a massage therapist one or something like that too. Physical therapy. They simulate everything. My working theory is people need to go out and get jobs because they have fun doing all the things that are just work. I was laughing when I saw it was like Power Wash Simulator ages ago. And I was like, I've done that for real. It's actually really fun to do for real, believe it or not. You basically have a giant squirt gun. It's got an engine on it. It's a squirt gun with an engine. How could that not be fun? I'm just saying. Like, it's a lot of fun. Do not put it point blank against anything. You will tear holes in it. It is very powerful. You can actually rip holes in concrete if you have like a straight tip on it. You don't have a straight tip. You always have a fan tip because you don't want to do that. But you get too close to wood even with the fan tip and you can just gouge holes in it. It's crazy. How you for real? You do with customers? That's fair. I mean, you know, you also get paid though. That's the difference. But yeah, you get to just mess up and do dumb crap that you'd never be able to do in real life and get away with. And that's true. That's fair. Not wrong. Maybe I just have each of the enemies for the area in here and give them names for each chapter. Huh. That'd be kind of cool. Give a little lore. I can also reduce the number of enemies to a smaller amount because I don't need that many enemies. I realize I have no rooms for story, by the way. Like, all I did was build rooms for something to do all the time. There's never a stopping point where a story can happen. Except for the Haunted Gallery, technically. Is the only one. It's gonna be hard to tell a story in this game. I don't know what's gonna go. There's a lot of design decisions I came up with that were just, I thought about it later. I was like, wow, I forgot to do a lot of things. I'm dumb. I haven't played games in so long that I've forgotten certain things that games have. Yeah, that's just it. I mean, that's the AAA experience, right? Walking simulator, like everything is now arbitrarily super far apart because the game is bigger. That's all that matters. Bigger, better, better. They fell into the same trap indies do, where, you know, they hear about they can have this huge open world. They forgot they needed content. And that's just how it is, you know? It's just... It sounds so cool on paper to be Skyrim. Everybody wants to be Skyrim. Trouble is, not many games are Skyrim. In fact, I think only Skyrim was Skyrim. People said the, was it Wind? No. Whatever the newest Zelda game was like that. Breath of the Wild. Like a Skyrim. But you need so much content, and that was a big problem I had. You know, I originally made all my stuff super far apart, and it's like it's not fun to walk. Anytime anyone questions, I just tell them, "Oh, walk across the city." Oh, I put fog out here to see if I liked it. I don't know if I do or not, but I'm not even sure why it's vanishing. But even when India made walking sims, yeah. Well, I think a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to fill up an area with content. I really just don't think they do. And once you realize how hard it is, it's like, you know, wow, this takes a lot of time. Like, you know, he's used to having AAA budgets, and I don't know why the fog's vanishing. I have so many questions. I guess it's just set for a part. I don't know. Shouldn't be vanishing. Why is it unclickable? Seen spots will solve this problem in a few years. What is a Gaussian splat? I do not understand. What be? I value these fogs anyway. They don't seem to work very well. Yeah, that camera speed is like a dagger in my soul. Out here. Oh, that's not what I mean by filling it up. You have to make something to do. It's easy to make a 3D environment that's huge and looks great. You don't gotta scan crap. Hell, they already have real world topography out there and things like that. No, it's something to do with that environment. Like, just running around it is boring. Like this, think about here, what I have here. Look at the roof of this building. The roof of this building is the size of all of the first chapter, basically like that. I turned this rooftop area, yeah, I don't want to see those this way, into like 2+ hours of content. It's me playing it, right? But what do we have here? Me just running across a giant empty space. This is what AAA gaming is right now. The activity is now way over there on the other side of the roof instead of all things in between. Look how boring this is. I still haven't made it across. Isn't that fun? Wouldn't it be cool if I had a huge open world map where you could run around and do that? The monster didn't make players fight, like the confronts always maneuvers, right? Yeah, well, that's what I do. Like, I have things like that, but by splitting this area up, you know, I can make all these different events and things to do and make it meaningful content instead of a giant open world where it's meaningless content. That's the issue. It's just like, okay, cool, all random encounters in this giant area. Like, it's like, From Software, like, you know, they're the Dark Souls people, right? I think. I don't actually know. To be 100%, I don't ever have time to play games anymore. Between health problems in the game dev and my regular job. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have a gameplay loop that works, sure. I mean, like, people do like to wander around open worlds and everything like that. It's just you got to make it fun to do. And a lot of AAA companies forgot that. They just want the space. Yeah. I won't say they're terrible games. I say they're games that I don't have interest in. Because, you know, actually, I don't know why I don't have interest in them, because on paper I should. In any game, I often do really difficult things, because I can. And I like, you know, open world games. I like killing, like, I like RPGs. I like these things. You'd think I'd play them, but I've just never gotten into them for whatever reason. I don't even hate the aesthetic. Still play games your own game? Yeah, I thought about that. That, you know, I actually technically played my own game, and that was the only game I was playing for the longest time. And, you know, it's cool, but there's an issue of your ideas stagnating, kind of, because I'm like, I'm definitely inspired by older games. And I started actually, just yesterday, I played like Circus Electric or something like that, Electrique, for like a couple hours just to see how they were making their game. It's not anything like this game. It's more like a Darkest Dungeon, except for you have a London as a map and everything like that, and it's like a steampunk game where everyone went crazy. So like, it's like BioShock meets Darkest Dungeon would be, I guess, the best explainer. Bioshock being the theme, just to see what like ideas they had for like steampunk and everything like that, and just see how a game played. Also, just looked kind of interesting. Do you play friendly games, poker, Monopoly, other games, and RLF? So you still play games? I actually don't play those, but I do play Magic. I took up playing it again because I realized I didn't have a lot of IRL friends anymore from all the like 6 years of health problems. And I also make money off Magic cards, so it kind of worked as a business thing. I get to have people to hang out with, and I make money. I did have to build a bunch of decks. I spent some weeks messing with those. Little did I know that in the 5 years since I last played, they made over half the Magic cards. I've been around that game for like over 25 years. And over half the Magic cards are made in 5. Terrible. Yeah, Magic the Gathering. I call it Magic just because, you know, we shortcut it. But yeah, Magic the Gathering. And I have so many valuable cards because I make money off flipping the cards. I'm surprised how overpriced that crap it really is. Ken Levine's new game is only a year away from release. Bioshock in space? Or is it like a space steampunk thing? That's interesting. 2 nice decks? Nice. I've just been building commander decks because I don't want to sit at any tournament. The health problems make me not want to sit at a tournament. I've definitely played in over 1,000 Magic tournaments in my life. I used to play them all the time, but man, the health problems just hit you right in the middle of the tournament. You're just like, I don't want anything. I want to be able to just leave. So instead I just play Commander. It's easy to get a Commander game though, man. There's kids, a bajillion Commander players. It's the best. It's called Judas. It's kind of steampunk narrative sandbox. Huh. Is this where I look at a trailer and then I get copyright claimed for a trailer? What's happening before on YouTube? You just look at a trailer and you get copyright claimed. Like, why would you copyright claim a trailer? That's so dumb. Who does that? Huh? Look that up. Judas. Oh, there's multiple Judases, but it's probably not the one that's cheap. Oh, I see. Block the chat. Foolish. As long as I mute the trailer, it's fine. I found. Look at it, pre-mutes. Oh, okay, well, sell it on the name, buddy. I mean, it looks cool. I wish I had a budget for this kind of stuff. A lot of their games are much more, like, have a lot simpler mechanics, though, which I think is a mistake for me, that I have these mechanics that are so overly complicated. Well, I don't know, I was playing that, you know, Circus Electric game, and there's so many freaking mechanics in that, it's insane, but that's also more of a Darkest Dungeon type of setup, so not surprising. The thing about first-person shooters, it's just a simple mechanic that everyone can get behind. It's really fun to just shoot things. There's really no point where it's ever not fun to shoot things. I mean, this might as well just be Bioshock. I mean, you literally have the same weird Bioshock system and guns. Like, it's just Bioshock. This is like James Gunn making a movie. You just expect this from the Bioshock guy. Like, this is Bioshock. Funny thing is, I've actually never played Bioshock 1 and 2. I only ever played Bioshock Infinite. Though Epic did give me the first 2 Bioshock games for free, so I should play them at some point. The remastered versions or whatever. So they won't look like dog shit. Yeah, I get it. Whatever. I mean, you get to shoot things. It's Bioshock. Sure. It's just Bioshock. I love it. It's like a future steampunk is really an interesting thing. I've seen the asset pack with this. See, it's okay to use a lot of the asset pack stuff as long as you have unique stuff that is your game. Like, this is unique to this guy's game. This is unique to this game. This was from an asset pack. This is from an asset pack. This from an asset pack. This too. In fact, all these things I've seen in asset packs. But who cares, because the important stuff is unique to the game. Shooter simple combat, yeah, it's super easy to implement. They just, yeah. Like, melee combat is... I don't want to call it a mistake, though it almost feels like a mistake if you're an indie dev. I know it sounds cool on paper. I should like these cool pictures. Yeah, these are neat. I like these. But yeah, it just... There's so much more to it. Putting a gun in their hand and producing a projectile, I mean, that's no different than doing magic. It's really easy, but if you do like a medieval game, you have to do magic and melee weapons. But if you do a shooter, you're basically just doing magic. That's it. Magic, but you put a gun in their hands instead of a casting animation. It's even easier because all the different guns can have similar animations, but you can have a different effect on the guns. Your spells got way easier. It's like the biggest cheat code possible. Exactly, every combo needs a different animation. And I do have some regrets in my many combat things like that, and I'm sure a lot of things will have to be changed and fixed, because if everything is so different, it's hard to polish everything. You spend a huge amount of time with a lot of mechanics trying to polish stuff that just isn't great. Polished looks for combats, you need different types of particles and things like that, different sounds. It just starts to get... It's a really big thing. Like, how many gun noises do you think you really needed for this game? How many gun animations? There's probably like 5 or 6 types of guns, I imagine. Just class of gun, and then they have a few different sound thingies that play it. It's super easy. And then they have some animation of stab. Now, I guess I'll give them some credit here. They have magic plus gun magic, effectively, because that's essentially what guns are. Just gun magic. So, you know, but even then, they didn't have to deal with, you know, the melee combat either, because having something positioned and shoot at a player is super easy. Having them try to, you know, duck and weave and get closer to the player and everything like that, or blocking it, that is a lot of extra work. So my advice to everyone out there, get melee combat. Use guns. What are you, a fool? As I put melee combat in my game. Don't judge me, bro. Don't judge me. Yeah, this is just straight up BioShock. Yeah. I wish I had a budget. That'd be helpful. I don't know about this track. This just... I mean, I guess it is technically like a theme, circus thing, but... I don't know. Yeah, I wish I had, honestly, just more assets that were in line with each other, instead of having to have more... Create almost biomes, essentially. That would be... Because I only have so many assets of each type. I'm not starting a new game at this point. I would rather just release this game, but... One of the things I thought about doing was just releasing it in chapters. And then just, you know, you pay once and then you just get the chapters as they come out, kind of thing. Probably just make it cheap and just sell it in chapters like that. But I don't have a bunch of games listed on Steam because that's just extra advertising and work. And $100 per. But yeah, I don't know. Between all the health problems, I really haven't cared. You know, maybe I'll do that. I need a solid demo for that, which means I need to actually get off my lazy ass and stop having health problems. I don't know how that's lazy, but I don't know. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I know at this point what I'm going to do with it. That's... Yeah, I'm not going to pretend. Basically, what I need to do if I want a publisher is just get the first, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour of the game, make it as awesome as possible, and then wave it in front of them and see if they like it. I thought about getting a mega grant, but I had all the health problems and it just... I mean, I can always still apply for a mega grant. I don't know. Again, I need that early. I really should have just made the first like vertical slice, the 30-minute thing. I should have just done that. I don't know what I was thinking. Actually, I know what I was thinking. I'm just inexperienced and started out as a hobbyist with no real plan. Just a copy of RPG Maker and a dream for sure. A thing that has definitely bit me in the ass more than a few times. Well, I guess I want him to actually be in this pose. I don't think they actually adopt the pose, do they? But you can give a mesh a pose. Yeah. Well, the difference between Expedition 33 and me was you had two guys who originally worked at like a AAA company who knew all about the industry and had all the connections, versus me who doesn't know anything about the industry and has no connections. Well, I have some streamer connections at this point, though those connections have kind of dwindled away because I haven't been streaming. Yeah, Ubisoft employees, that's what yeah. That's the thing, is they had proven track record because they knew the industry, they knew what they were doing. And I don't. And then I probably need to make, set up a company and then hire people and make dreams come true that way. But, well, I could easily get, I could get $10,000 to $20,000 down on this. I could do it. I wouldn't be very happy to have to do that, but I could pull that off. I don't have the literal millions of dollars they had, but I could actually get together some pretty good setup for that if I wanted. You'd be surprised. It really doesn't go as far as you think when you're paying people for models and things. I know one guy charged me. He quoted me like $300 to $500 per higher end model, and I was like, I guess I gotta figure it out myself or buy off the store because that's a lot. Have you been into creating games and templates or systems bought from the store? My goodness, they barely changed anything, making games turn out. Yeah, that's the thing. There's really an argument here of how best to put this. It's basically time investment versus return. So it's return on investment. That's what it is. Return on investment like that. It's like you could make this one big unique game that you spend multiple years making and all that blah 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 like I'm doing here. But then you're hinging that one everything on that one game, making the money back to make it worth it. You have no name, no nothing. Just the hope that your game looks cool enough and you get enough people along the way interested that you can make it work. Or the other end of the spectrum, where you just take the remade crap and you slap coats of paint on it so it looks just enough to release a whole bunch of games. The upside is then you have a proven track record of releasing something. But the downside is you get the reputation that your stuff is garbage. So nobody wants it. There's probably a happy medium somewhere in there where we should all be at. Don't be me. Don't make it this big dream thing. I mean, original me was so delusional that new me is much less delusional. Maybe the health problems have really helped with that. I know they've slowed the game development down, but they've maybe really think about what's important. And I've reduced the size and the scope of this game so much, focused things down so much because I realized the health problems are making it near impossible to finish. Or if I'd been otherwise healthy, I probably could have finished this game earlier, but I would have been way more delusional and tried to do things that shouldn't happen. Like it just shouldn't be. It's wonderful because it's a good template system. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can take any system and make it amazing. You can layer things on top of it. And people won't hate you for using, that system later if you make the system good. I actually bought a bunch of templates when I first started. And what I learned was I don't like working off someone else's template because I don't know where everything is, and it's annoying to try to figure it out. And it's the RPG Maker problem all over again, where you're so busy trying to figure out how they program crap that you waste a huge amount of time. And then the system doesn't suit your needs. The system is, you have to build around the system, and you can add to the system, but if you're not going to build off of the system, there was no point in buying the system. Whereas if you make it yourself, it can do whatever you want. And I like that better. And the next game I make will have a huge advantage because I'm certainly just going to make on the Metroidvania, right? And it'll be able to basically be built right on top of this one. I'll be able to take all the system behind it, and I'll tweak the system to fit the new thing. But I'll 100% come out of the gates like 20% of the game already done because all the systems and everything behind it will already be done. The content will be, which is the lion's share of the game, for sure. Content takes so much more time than the actual making of a system. It really does. And then polish takes way more time than you want it to as well. Okay, I just do. Why am I using these? Why am I dragging this one out? I'm gonna use this character. Never played a small game. Most indie games still have big games. I mean, they're not really. Well, most indie games are actually quite tiny, and they sell pretty well. I mean, yeah, sure, they'll be the big ones, you know, the Silk Songs of the world, but that was still only made by 3 people. And they spent like, I think, 7 years making it, so let's not get, you know, pretend like they didn't put in a disgusting amount of work in it, because, I mean, this game, I probably started it a few years ago. I lost so much time to health problems, but even then, I ain't even close to 7 years. So, I mean, like, what? It's probably sell it's low quality games and there's no bad games for the installments. Yeah, it's not just advertising, you know, like say if you have enough games, Steam will start to point you out more often, like, you know, you have a proven track record even if your games aren't good. So, you know. Yeah. Also, a lot of those crappy companies will just steal games and re-release them under a different name too. That was always one of the big fears I had, was that someone stole a game after I, you know, released. I stole it before I released it. And they've got, you know, enough advertising clout or something like that, or they're just, you know, using fake accounts to boost themselves on social media. Big old Patrick talking cost, we'll say 75 cents or something. It is the 1920s when the game's happened. I think it was 1929. I'm protected by copyright, but copyright only applies to countries that aren't third world shitholes. There's plenty of places where copyright laws don't matter. US copyright law in India, in China, in anywhere in Africa. What laws? Oh, that's right. Every country has different laws? Oh, okay, that's right. So they're not really protected at all. Now, the companies, like Steam will, if you can prove that they've stolen your stuff, Steam will protect you by getting rid of their crap. Here. All the companies will. So actually, you're actually more reliant on the corporations to delist them. Or like, you know, ban them or whatever. But the copyright laws will protect me from someone in the US stealing my stuff. And any country that I'm, you know, that the US is kind of like, you know, real buddy-buddy with. You'd be surprised, because keep in mind that Steam often charges like different amounts, like different currencies and things. So maybe there's money in some of these countries. But it doesn't matter if they aren't buying my thing. They can still take the game, steal it, and then release it and sell it for real money somewhere else. So that would be bad news, because then, you know, it cuts into my sales in the game, and I'm already not expecting to make a fortune off this game, for sure. I mean, there's plenty of examples of people stealing games and re-releasing them under a different name. Often without any changes at all, but sometimes just slight changes. It's really bad if you're a Godot person. Oh my god, I feel so bad if you're a Godot person. because it's so easy to take that code and reverse engineer it. I think it was like 1 or 2 days after Slay the Spire 2 came out that they already had the code. Some guy like was doing YouTube videos with it. Because it's not protected. So if you look up, you know, stolen games, you'll see Godot gets mentioned all the time. Because it's just so easy to lift your game. That's why would never use it. Might be a great engine, but it matters if you can protect your stuff. Worse yet, someone thinks that you've copied the game that they stole from you. They have a crap version of it and they think your game sucks because of it. Oh god, man, that'd be terrible. I mean, Slay the Spire 2 is pretty big. It's probably the biggest one I could think of offhand, but to be fair, I don't have a very encyclopedic knowledge of what was made in Godot. Is there any way to find out what Slay the Spire 2 made? Well, the AI says the Slay the Spire 2 made $92 to $108 million, so I'd call that a big game. Right? Seems big enough to me. Now, there aren't any AAA games made in there. That's true. I mean, if by big game you just mean it like has like a physically large area to wander around in, yeah, sure, it's not. But if your big game is a game that made lots of money that people played for lots of hours or whatever, I mean, like, qualifies as that. But AAA companies don't use Godot because, well, it's not very good for big open worlds at all. It's not very good for high-end graphics. But also, it's easy to steal. Yeah, I've definitely heard it's not great for it. I don't want to say it sucks because they've improved it like a bunch of versions since I ever last looked, so maybe it got better, but I think that they have an ecosystem problem. Yes, the best way to put it for Godot. Like, there's plenty of devs that seem really excited by it, the idea of it, but there's not a huge amount of tutorials for it. There's not a huge amount of free assets for it. There's not like this big old community, like central hubs to go to for it. There's not just, it just doesn't really have the backing behind it that Unity and Unreal have. No asset streaming? Interesting. All I know is I can't see any reason anything besides Unreal. Like, I tried Unity and I tried Godot before I tried Unreal. So, they both had a chance. And the only reason I tried Unreal at all was because I was like, oh, well, I tried the others. This is supposed to be the AAA engine. Yeah, there's no way I can make a game of that. And it turned out to be the easiest engine to use of all of them. I was like, oh, okay. I guess this is the one I'm going with. But I don't know what to call these, but I should probably put them up here. Maybe I could put them on the floor and well, not, you'd have them on the shelves. These windows are so weird here. They'll confuse people for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't, I personally wouldn't use the engine because it's just the theft issue. That's why I stopped using RPG Maker when I realized I couldn't protect my stuff. Spending only 3. Unreal's no competition for 3D. The only problem is how complicated it is. They'll fix another 6. I found Unreal to be the easiest of the engines. Blueprints really help. I don't think Unreal 6 is going to fix that, though. I think that Unreal 6 is going to hope that AI works. Even though AI so far has proven to be completely terrible on any kind of thing that isn't just a prototype, because it doesn't scale well with larger projects at all. It has no way to deal with the huge, like, you know, just how big the scope of these projects are. So it's completely useless. except for prototyping. But then if you prototype something with it, you get a bunch of code that you don't understand, and then you can't build off of it, so it's kind of useless there too. So it's not good yet. It needs something. Yeah, they're gonna try. Basically, the way I see it going with that is the same way I see everything going with Epic. It's gonna sit in this experimental or beta phase forever. Freaking, you know, Nanite still has like beta and experimental stuff in it. All that motion matching crap, experimental and beta. Some of it's gotten to full release, not all of it. Lumen's still got plenty of experimental and beta stuff in it. Heck, Lumen's so unoptimized they had to make a Lumen Light. They finally got Mega Lights to production ready. It took how many years? They usually have a new version of Unreal about every half year, I think. No, it's longer than that, right? Came out in 5.4? How long ago was 5.4? The thing about those things is that it's very limited in what it can do. That's why it's very experimental. It lacks the ability to expand much. I've seen people use the UEFN thing. It's extremely limited in what it can do. And yeah, if you want to make some crap for Fortnite like it's Roblox or something, which is what Tim Sweeney wants. He wants it to be Roblox because he wants to make a bunch of money. He really desperately wants it. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work for the rest of us, but he's delusional. Yeah, it just doesn't do much for that. Again, if it weren't that experimental, they would be getting rid of blueprints on the spot. But what they really want it to do is they want it to be usable with the AI. Because they want AI to work. Maybe it will someday. It's not yet, but someday. Because every single studio that's using Unreal already has a whole setup for using blueprints. Everyone's been trained in blueprints. Having to restart everything on a whole new system, retrain everyone, especially for the people who aren't coders, like for all the different, you know, people doing visual stuff, it's not going to happen. We're talking, you know, millions upon millions of dollars for all these big, huge AAA companies to retrain everybody. They're not going to do that. Why would they? They have stuff that works. It brings nothing to the table. Tim just really wants AI to work, and it doesn't work well with blueprints. And rather than invest in making it work with blueprints, they're going to do that. It's really not. It's actually like, I've seen it. It's just literally like, you know, a list of various things that are going to happen. It's weird, but it's not visual at all. It's still code. It doesn't. The real thing they should have done is, like, versus like a coding language thing that they've made, they should have made verse the underlying thing of blueprints, right? So they wouldn't change anything, so nobody would know, because at first it's so much more efficient. Why not? Because all blueprints are is just contained C++ code, right? So you can edit the blueprint if you want and see the C++ code in the blueprint if you want to. Why couldn't they make that with verse? Why couldn't verse be another layer on top if that's really what they want to do? Then nobody would have changed a thing. Everyone's workflow would have been the same, and it would have been heralded as a great thing, and more efficiency under the hood. That's what we want. Yeah, but you missed the point. Everybody already knew blueprints. People who know blueprints don't necessarily know C++. So what you're suggesting now is they don't use blueprints, the thing they know, and learn a whole other language and a whole other workflow. See, all the people who think, oh, but C++, almost no one actually uses C++ in Unreal Engine. It's actually really unusual. There's just some people who are just like, I want to do this. The vast majority of things are done in blueprints, even in the big games. You might make some custom stuff occasionally, but C++ is just really inefficient for development. And the speed difference isn't that high if you just, you know, don't program like an idiot. But all the visual people, they don't know how to program. They know how to use blueprints to do all the stuff like that. So you're not going to get all these artists to learn verse, essentially, is what's going to happen. So they're going to be stuck using blueprints, but blueprints aren't getting phased out immediately anyway, and I doubt they ever will. I mean, Epic is pretty well known for not depreciating things out of existence. Heck, there's still, oh gosh, what is it? What do they call it? It's the sensing thing for like sensing how close an enemy is to like the player like that. There's actually the old version, the original one from UE3 is still lurking around. I remember when I first learned to use the thing, I put the wrong one on there. It was like the AI sensing thing. I forgot what it was called. And it's still there to this day. So we'll see. Like I say, a lot of these companies are waiting for AI to prove useful. And since it hasn't proven useful yet for anything else besides slop, they're all banking real hard that it's going to do something. We'll see. I mean, you know, maybe. I just feel like they should have some sort of thing here. Yeah, there's some use cases that have proven okay, I guess. And it might get better over time. Mostly it just produces slop for social media. Yeah. I mean, because it can make like a, you know, 15 to 30 second movie that is some ridiculous gibberish that falls apart and has no coherency. And I've seen people try to string those together into some sort of thing, and that's fine. That's just slop for shorts, right? I mean, that seems what works, apparently. Is it useful? No. YouTube's almost unwatchable at this point. How anybody watches that trash? It does okay voice acting, except for then the voice acting all sounds like the same person doing it. So every channel I go to now is some faceless AI voice acting thing, and I just turn it off. There's no identity to each channel anymore because of it. They just hear a voice that's the same voice I've heard on I don't know how many other channels. How is your branding even there? How do I tell you apart? You're just like every other one. You can AI generate some images. I guess that's fine. I'm sure people use it for pornography, which is probably the one use that'll probably gain the most traction because what was the internet's built for porn, right? The old saying. But and so far the music, like, I don't know what it is about the music, but it just sounds clinical. Like there's no soul to it. Basically, it's since it's done with all mathematical calculations, it all sounds same, like underlying. It's just like, I think the imperfections are what make music good. Where is this? Yeah, they can't monetize that stuff fast enough. I'm so tired of it. Is it? Oh, freaking thank you. People have been polluting Spotify with that. I used to have a list of things on Spotify, and it used to recommend things that were like similar to what I liked. And then it just became all AI trash. And I stopped listening. I actually have like a list now going on YouTube of videos that were just like the various music videos of things, and I just had that playing instead. What I listen to now is actually just a bunch of tracks I got from Humble Bundle ages ago before AI became a thing. Well, if Suno gets shut down, they won't be able to. But yeah, it's bad. But the thing is, I think there's going to be enough of a backlash against it because it's all samey. It seems like it's impossible to tell it apart. There's no identity to anything. So you can't build a brand off of something that's the same as everything else. And mathematically created music will always sound like mathematically created music. I know they like to say, well, these various popular songs use the same handful of beats. Yeah, okay, they did. They didn't use the whole thing the whole time, you know? Like, maybe there's a little bit of things, but most songs didn't do that. You know? So, I mean, many of the acting's already crashing and burning, as you're seeing, between legality issues and the fact that it's not really being as adopted. But you also have to remember that over half the internet's traffic is now just bots, apparently. So you got to question how much of the traffic it's getting is even real. Like, maybe people really aren't adopting it and they just want it to happen so bad. I don't know. Hard to say. You hear the band music when it's too distracting about it? No, you can. The thing is you got to have some sort of shtick that makes you unique. How do you stand out amongst the legions of people who are doing what you want to do? Now, if you just clone other people's work, you'll never stand out because, well, you haven't innovated anything. Why are you different? I guess you can say what you will about my game. At least it's my game and you can tell it's my game. I didn't follow any of the stuff, for good or ill. I just kind of did whatever. And it's leading to this bizarre, weird thing that's mine. Very much you can. I could have just followed some templates. The music's the same way, you know? You gotta have to make a style that's your own. Don't use like AI crap to have this mathematical stuff, because that's not gonna appeal to anybody, really. Quality shines through. It really does. You just have to put in a lot of work, and even then that doesn't necessarily mean you get noticed, but you know. Consider that I've streamed for on and off for like 3+ years now to get what little I have going as far as visibility. I'd have had a lot more if I was consistent, for sure. But you know, is what it is. Consistency matters. You got to build a brand, essentially. That brand is essentially just building by doing it over and over and over. You'd be surprised. Like, say, if you don't come out sounding like AI crap, you'll do better. You're still going to have to, you know, get your name out there, so you're still going to have to build up that way. But there's a reason they're called starving artists, right? The vast majority of artists starve. Art is, if you have to convince people your art has value, it's not like you've made some sort of, you know, useful device that you can hand someone like, I made this, this is valuable, it does this. You have to convince them that which you've made this thing that's doesn't have like a real world easy application to prove it has value. You have to convince them that that is meaningful. And plenty of people, like, you know, the people who say they can't do it, they all fail 100%, because you can't do it if you don't believe you can do it. You have to try. There are people who succeed, but you're gonna have to put in a lot of work. People just believe AI is a shortcut to success for now. But like I say, at this point, I really believe what makes good music is actually the imperfections that people introduce to it. The little things that are just different, that are off, are what, you know, make it yours, and not this mathematical setup that they've been doing. Now, for a long time, I couldn't explain to myself why I was having such a trouble listening to the AI music. I was like, this something about this, I hate it. I don't know what it is. Like, on paper, it seems fine. There's nothing that seems wrong with this stuff, and yet it just irritates me to hear it, and I don't know why. I kept thinking about it for a long time, and it just came down to that, you know, just they are missing, like, and they're too perfect. And art is imperfection. You can't math art. Yeah. Again, is the orange guy singing about the latest events? That sounds terrible. I do not wish to watch that. That sounds like not fun to me. But a lot of people, like, I realize that I am the minority. I admit it, I'm clearly the minority. I look at people watching shorts and I think to myself, the idiocracy is real. They're just literally just watching whatever's just fed from them. They're not even thinking about it. It's just, give me shiny things in front of me and just feed me, feed me, feed me. It's bright, it's colorful, noises are being made. Constant stimulation. My roommate's exactly that way too. He just sits there and he just clicks it. And then he's watching. And it's just like, how do you do this? I can barely watch YouTube at this point. I need something that's stimulating. Like mentally. What do I call these things? I need a better name for these, for sure. I'll just might call him like a voodoo drummer or something like that. I can be a voodoo doctor. Aren't you sure we tried some? Yeah. Oh yeah, I keep telling you to remove it, and it just puts them right back. It's so annoying. The only time I had to watch shorts is when I was putting up my own ones. I had to sit there and on my other account watch them. Because I have an account I watch with, and then I have my dev account. Because the dev account would follow all these other devs and a bunch of... Basically, it was for networking. That meant that it was full of videos I never wanted to watch. I guess there's some friends on there I watch, but I just did so much like link exchanging, things like that. Sorry, sub exchanging to try to build subs to get to the first 100. And it's just full of a lot of things I would never watch. To be fair though, my watch account's full of things I would never watch too. In fact, I scroll to the bottom of the page over and over and over. Because they never recommend anything I want to watch. It's weird. They're like, will you watch this one thing? Yeah, but these videos are exactly that video all over again. I don't want to watch it again. I've already watched one. Oh, yeah. Well, they've always been doing that. Like, every time I look at something that's new, like I type in and look for something specifically, suddenly they're like, oh my god, he must want that. And then they show me videos about, like, that one thing. It's like, but again, I've already watched the video. I don't care. I don't need someone else's slightly different perspective on the same goddamn thing. I don't care. We're good. Look, YouTube's just like, but you watched one. You don't want to watch more? No, I'm not retarded, YouTube. Sorry, I don't want to watch more. I'm good. I'll live. These can be like, we'll say these are like 20 cents. I don't know what these cost. A bouncing ball's like 10, but that's like the models of that. It's mostly the 20s, so I don't really know what. I'll call these a Mr. Bitey. I'm gonna change names along the way, sure. These can also be like the same. I love how 5.7 does this. You just duplicate it and then undo. I think it clears it. Right? Yeah. It's not like that anyway. As soon as I played the game, whatever, it doesn't like that at all. That's a quick bio break real fast. I've been drinking water the whole time and I'm supposed to drink way more water. Water's not that tasty. I'm not as concerned about taking as long a breaks because I'm not going to do as long a streams for the foreseeable future. Just because, you know, that's how I end up with worse health problems. Shouldn't probably do that. Hear me out. I should probably not make it worse. For sure. You can just merge these together. Though I think I just have the model. I don't need to merge that together. One of the things you can actually do is you can drag an actor out here with all the things like that, and then you can just merge it in order to create a just a static mesh of it. Are they? Cool. I think that game went on sale recently or whatever, and it seems like, you know, you want this. I'm like, I don't. It wasn't even feeling good enough to play it. I was like, eh. I guess this didn't have that much on it. It's not like I know stable diffusion or anything like that. I'm definitely a whatever gets the job done kind of guy, but I don't have any particular skills one way or another for that stuff for sure. Wish I did. Huh. Yeah. Basically, what I have learned in this whole industry is you don't get into the gaming industry if you want to make money. You get into it because you really just want to make games. But it's kind of like a lottery almost for making real money. If you want to make money in any kind of software, you want to develop things that aren't games. You want to develop something that has a purpose. Like a real purpose. But, you know. Yeah, I definitely... It's a good hobby. It's a fun hobby. It's actually probably not a good hobby. It's probably an unhealthy as hell hobby, but... whatever. I enjoy it. Yeah, the voodoo dolls are not that big. Yeah, I need something to blockade this off, because it just seems weird with them just sitting there. It really does, but every time you went to any of these places, there would be stuff on the shelves. Huh. But you're gonna enter through the windows. I might block all but one of the windows. Maybe I might block all but this one or something. I don't know. Yeah. Definitely. The thing is people don't get to complain about the gacha things because they're buying it. Right? Like, if you hated those, you would just buy the games that are, you know, have an initial upfront cost. People, maybe not you specifically, but just people in mass are just playing these games and they buy it. Yeah, it is only 1% the whales. And the thing is the whales produce so much more money that's often the case. The games get huge. Like, you don't really have to advertise free, essentially, like that. A free game is so easy to get people into. And the whales produce a lot of money. However, the operating costs of those games are quite large because they have to support all those users who aren't paying. So it might seem like a cheat code at some point, but very few games can survive on the free-to-play model. And I think the number of those games is falling apart because there's only, like, these gaming companies want like this huge amount of growth, but there's only so many whales. They're all dividing up like that. They have this small pie that they're all trying to get a piece of. And when they run out of whales, it's like, okay. And then regular players just, you know, are playing these games for free. But when they run out of whales, the game goes to, like, the game gets shut down because the players aren't paying. It's costing money. Then your game is, like, unplayable after a while, too. Oh, yeah. Well, Sony's, as usual, late to the party on just about everything. For a single player game is only 10% of the revenue. Yeah. Well, the difference with the single player things, like, I don't know, like for like Sony, their single player thing is like 10%. I mean, to be fair, Sony doesn't get a lot of money off the single player stuff, right? Because any microtransaction they get a cut of through their little, like, you know, PlayStation Network. So obviously the, you know, multiplayer games with all the in-app purchases are the ones that are, you know, going to make them more money. See, I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen anything to really back that up. I mean, it might be true, but I don't really think it is, because the vast majority of games are single player. Because then that would make all the Expedition 33 games and like God of War and stuff like that, the Final Fantasy games, all those would be like almost nothing, and they've made, you know, collectively hundreds of millions of dollars. So I don't really think that's true, the 10% figure. It doesn't sound right. Well, yeah, that'd still be more than 10%, right? That'd be a lot more than 10%. That's like 60% of the amount of those for the gacha things. Well, the thing is, we don't know if most of it is, and we also don't know what the full total of all the mobile games is. Like, that's just one figure for that to be the thing, you know? Like, that would mean that the rest of all the gaming on mobile was only making like 5 billion, which seems unlikely. And the entire PlayStation Network is almost certainly not making off microtransactions, because which games on PlayStation are these like big things? Like, is Call of Duty really making that much? Because they don't usually make that much. Like, that would make things like Activision, you know, not falling apart. They would be worth billions, and they're not. Like, their whole company's maybe worth billions, but like I said, I need to see figures on all of it, but I mean, if you believe the weird little AI thing, they're saying the video game industry revenue hit like 201 billion. And that was in 2025. I don't know. I don't think that the number is necessarily correct. I think that it's, I would need to see some things. Like, I don't, without some sort of like thing like that. Because for the most part, those mobile transaction games have been falling apart. Like, a lot of these games are actually losing money. A lot of the freemium stuff has actually been going down, you know, in profits. So, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't believe anything that's said until there's like proof to back it up, and even then, the proof is often like, how accurate is the proof? But I would be surprised if the actual, you know, gacha stuff is more than like 20 to 30% of the market. In all honesty, I would. Maybe it is. Maybe it's more, but like I say, with those games on the downturn, and largely falling apart, like many of them just unable to continue because they aren't making any money. The costs are really high though, it's hard to say. I mean, 4 billion is a lot, but 4 billion, if you believe the 201 billion for 2025, 4 billion is only a tiny fraction of that, and there aren't many Genshin Impacts out there. There's a handful of those games that make good money. And don't get me wrong, those games do well, but for them to be like 90% of the thing there, they would have to have made $180 billion. Oh, well, a little more than that, of the 201 billion. And I'm just not seeing it. I mean, it could be wrong. Not saying I'm necessarily right. I need to see some numbers to really back it up. Oh yeah, 100%. Like, most games make nothing. Most free-to-play games fail because the cost of running a free game is high. It's really high. You have to support all the people who aren't paying. That popularity comes at a huge cost. Like, the operating cost of Genshin Impact must be disgusting. Can you imagine what that game must cost to run? How many users of it? Or ask something like, a non-mobile game like Fortnite. How much does Fortnite cost to run? But pretending like that game doesn't make a fortune is dumb, because why do you think Unreal Engine exists? Because of Fortnite. I know that it was originally the Unreal Tournament stuff, but the reason it's hit all these things and gets all the upgrades is for Fortnite. Hell, they had UEFN. Hell, they're trying to put Verse in there because of Fortnite. Nintendo wants everything in Fortnite. Like, so clearly. Yeah. Just one game about training horse girls that made several billion too. I mean, it happens. I remember hearing about that. It really makes several billion. Horse girl game? I don't know what it was called. Umasumi Profits? I don't know how accurate it is. I'm just curious. I use the AI to check these things because I'm too lazy. Oh. It didn't make as much as you think. Like, well, assuming this is right, the little brave AI here, they're going that it made 33 billion yen, which is only like 213 million in US. So the number you heard might have been, the yen number. Yeah, Epic did some layoffs. Yeah, but then they had a lot of administrative people who were worthless. A lot of people who weren't making the actual engine. They had their hands in a lot of projects, and a lot of those projects just weren't panning out. So they did it to make certain they make more money, because, there's pretty much every tech company's done huge layoffs in the last handful of years. Yeah, total lifetime revenue on a thing like that. Yeah. And that's good, don't get me wrong. The only thing I question is that yen, because it could be yen.
Hello there.
Hey, Lepus, how's it going? We're trying to figure out what all these gacha games are making globally. Not even sure I was trusting an AI result, probably because I didn't care that much on the exact result. When you don't care if it's accurate, AI is perfect. He was like, I don't know if I care, but oh, look. Oh yeah, so 300 billion yen's not that much. So like, yen to dollars, sure. Five 9 zeros. I think I do. One more zero. But they didn't do that. That's still a lot. That's still over 1 billion. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's still over $1 billion. 1.8 billion. Which is impressive for a game about girls as horse training. I don't know. Some bizarre, weird fetish crap. Sex sells, okay? I don't think we need to confirm that. I think we know. Sex sells. Listen, I made a big mistake making a game about dolls. I should have made it about horse girls, evidently. The problem is dolls aren't really attractive. Well, maybe they are for somebody, but I think we can all make the assumption that it's not that many people comparatively, for sure. That's fine, though. Doing good after a long week? That's nice. Hopefully it's been productive, exciting, fun, or whatever you wanted the week to be. I don't know. Whatever makes people happy. I need this. This is what I wanted. I have to merge this one. She's got a firecracker on her back. I'm trying to be a better streamer. I thought this could convert a mesh to a skeletal mesh to a schematic. Yeah, that's fair. I think one of the problems is that I have a female main character in a world where everyone is tired of female characters as the main character. And she's a doll, so she can never be truly sexy hot. Like, she could be cute for a doll, but in the world of girl boss things, like, she's not going to be a girl boss, but it doesn't matter. It's got to be a hard sell, I think. I'll have to try to appeal to people like Alice in Wonderland, I guess. Nobody complains about a female lead in an Alice in Wonderland game. That's true. Nobody complains. That's fine. If I had it to do over, I wouldn't be making a female game. Well, yeah, but Barbie's got decades of fans built up. Of every little girl who's ever done things like that. I bet you more women will play GTA 6 though than Barbie. Actually, to be fair, I don't think the Barbie game will do well. I'll say it. You know why? They've released a lot of Barbie video games over the years, and they've never done well. What are we talking here? The Barbie movie was a weird outlier, I guess. I guess I can just put a dynamite on here. But I'll be surprised if it does well, because women don't typically like any kind of adventure game, like action like that. They like the weird little, like, you know, the puzzle solving things, the, like, you know, the oh gosh, Candy Crush style games, or they like, there's a lot of point and click adventure games made for women I've noticed on mobile, quite a few of them, where they're like real simple puzzles and like a little story element going on to them. And they like things where they get to take care of stuff, like raise animals and stuff like that. Those kinds of games are what they like. Now, I'm not saying all women, of course. There will be outliers, of course. But on average, if you're trying to target women in the market, unless you're like sitting there, like, you know, making a farm for Barbie dolls or whatever, like a Barbie house thing where you like get new Barbies and, like, you know, try to make them like more glamorous than the other Barbies, it's probably not going to do well. Yeah, cozy genre. That's pretty fair. Yeah, I mean, like, because I play, like, you know, I'll play point and click adventure games and like various puzzle things too. Not very often, but, you know, like the ones I've seen have largely been like, hey, this seems like it's designed for women, especially the mobile stuff. So, you know, it's what they like. Ain't nothing wrong with that. not many of them are like, oh my god, Dark Souls, or GTA or whatever. There's still ones that do it. Most of them are content creators. Women do like role-playing things, like they like social interaction. That's what it is. So role-playing fits, like, when I say role-playing, I mean like them, pretending to be the character in like, some sort of like a GTA situation where they can like pretend like they're the characters in this world type of thing. They like that. That works for them great. Also, Switch also popular? Yeah. I mean, there's regular gamer girls too that like these things. It's just you can tell by the numbers that it's pretty low. So you gotta. If I was gonna market to women, I would definitely be making cozy things that really aren't about competition and more about just collecting crap. Yeah, that's what I'd make. I feel like this game will appeal more to guys, even with the female lead. I think that the like Alice Madness Returns appealed mostly to guys as well, so this should just be I'm just gonna make a blueprint for this. Bring me into toys. Why don't I want to be a blueprint? I could just merge them together too. True. Numbers are the same. The spending is definitely much lower. But the numbers are the same like for female players? No. They're really not. Not close. Not for these genres. This game is a Metroidvania. Right off the bat, an unusual thing for women to like at all. But it's like I said, the exploration, the combat, the things like that, they just competition, it's more of a guy thing. Like I say, there are women who like that, but they're unusual. I would not, I'm not going to market to women at all. If they want to play my game, that's amazing. Go ahead, but it's marketing only to guys. Can you get those too? Is it not possible? Did they take that out? Really? It's got to be a way. I don't know if that's true. I would think in the cozy genre, it's mostly women, on mobile especially. Like, I can't imagine guys outspend women in something like Candy Crush. I just don't see it. That's kind of like their unassailable tower of where they blow their money at kind of thing. Now, well, games like Raid or whatever gacha games are all, I think, assume mostly male-dominated, given by the fact that they're always making new waifus. Probably. Do I want these to be movable? I kind of want to lock these in a case. I just don't like them sitting here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about it. I guess for now I'm just going to do that and just duplicate them. Well, first of all, I'm going to move them to there. Then I'll duplicate them after I add them to this. So this way. Yeah, I would want to see numbers before I made any assumptions on things like that. But I would say common logic is that any genre that's mostly has a higher female player count has a greater female spending. It would just make sense. Of course, you got to remember, for women, dating apps are also basically like, a game, and they get free stuff from those too. So I'm just saying, like, There's a whole genre of games that they get that we don't. Oh, I guess we get the bad half of that. We're the whales paying on those. The worst game. Oh, God. Do I have this? This is a tracking? This sounds... Oh, good, I do have it. I was like, this sounds perfect for this kind of game. I don't know. Like, here's the thing about a lot of whales. Like, they tend to be really bad with their money, people like that. And plenty of rich guys can have daughters, you know? They just blow money on dumb crap. I mean, I would assume that just statistically, because most players are male, it's probably, you know, mostly guys just for that reason alone. So, yeah, I don't know. I make it go either way, I guess. But you probably, I would say, just because most players are guys, it's probably the case that most whales would be guys. Besides, a lot of women can just get guys to buy things for them, so why in the world would they buy it themselves? And I used to see that a lot when I would play MMOs because my girlfriends at the time liked them. And I like looking at female characters. I know, shocker to somebody, I'm sure. And, you know, I wouldn't say I was like a woman. I never did. I just was playing a character just staring at this, you know, the back of a chick the whole time going, this just make my chick really hot. And there'd be guys and, man, they would, like, you know, try to give me things like that. And I was like, man, dude, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here right now. I'm a guy. don't want this stuff. It's okay. I don't want to give you the wrong impression. There was one time where I didn't do that fast enough and the guy was so sad and I was just like, sorry, buddy, we're just running dungeons. I didn't realize you thought I was actually a chick. His defense for why he thought I was a chick? Because I could type well. That's it. Never mind the fact that I did data entry for a while, so I was a very accurate typist for a long time. That was like 25 years ago. Yeah, I could have got free stuff off him, but, you know, I would have felt bad about it. Because I knew the dude was lonely, too. It's just like, yeah, you know, you're playing some game at home like that. You probably haven't, you know, spent a lot of time with women like that. You see some person you think is a woman and she's, like, really nice, and then you find out it's a dude. That's how you know it was too nice to be a woman. No, I've met nice women. Still gonna dog on them a bit, though, because it's funny. Yeah, then you just feel bad, and then it's awkward later, and it's just like, nah, man, it's just sorry. I know you want me to be what you want me to be, but nope. I just make all 20 cents. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's plenty of people that, like, the whole what they wanted, that friend slop category that Thomas Brush really wants to be a thing. Like you're saying, friend slop. People play it like they do. I wouldn't call any category really dead. People just play this stuff. They have fun. What do you want? You know, like it's just how it is. There actually aren't that many enemies, are there? I guess I don't have one of these merged yet, but I could. And some people you already know. A full multiplayer, you see random people. Eh. Well, see, I was always a loner in all the MMOs anyway, so you know. Like I would join up with some random guild and be helpful or whatever, but for the most part, I just kind of ventured by myself. I never would go into dungeons because unless I soloed them, I would solo dungeons because I don't like playing games with people. I don't. But I had girlfriends who were all like, oh, I want to play this game with you. So I'd play the game with them. Playing the game with a woman is Okay. I can tell you how it always went. We got a new MMO to play. How excited. Okay. So then we're going to play characters in character creation like that. Okay, I'm going to make my character. My character's going to be hot. It won't take me very long because I'm just used to it. And whichever girlfriend would spend like 6x the time trying to make their character look exactly as they want. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll mess around and play around for a bit because I'm just nothing to do because I wait like an hour and I'm like, I'm bored. So I'll keep a second character. The character will be the character I play with while I wait for them, and I'll be a couple hours in the game. They'll never get beyond the early portion of the game before we go to the next game because they just got bored or whatever. They spent longer in the character creation. And then they'll have the game they actually liked, but in that game they'll never go do anything. Unless it's with like a little special group and it'll be like the same handful of things over and over. I remember the last time I played was like Guild Wars 2. Where I got roped into leading a guild because my girlfriend's like, I'm gonna make a guild. Okay. So I joined her guild. She's like, I'll make you the leader. She makes me the leader. I was like, I didn't want a guild. What? I don't want to lead your guild. This is terrible. So I explore the whole world, all these things like that. You know, I'm getting to big old, you know, did the world v world thing, killed lots of things, did all these things, but I never really do dungeons because I always said to have people. So I would solo dungeons, and also the dungeons in the game were ass anyway. Dungeons are always ass in MMOs. Who am I kidding? They're fun like once. Like, cool, great. I already did this content. What's next? You're supposed to play it again. I don't want to. What's next? That's the whole end game. Your end game sucks. I'm going to the next game. Maybe. I mean, Discord's its own animal of things to do. Like, you just kind of sit there and chat with people about things, and maybe it's exciting, but there's no game attached to it really, so it doesn't quite feel the same thing like that. It does give a sense of community, that's true. I don't need the lover's heart. But beyond that, I guess there's toys here, huh? Yeah. Some type contraption toy. Oh, is it? I didn't know streamers did that. Am I doing it wrong? Should I be paywalling mine? No. That would be funny, for sure. Oh no, this is just it's not anything else, it's just this. I'm gonna come up with creative names for this now that I have a place to display them. No one runs IRC servers anymore. 660 for sword access. Oh my. You know, that's exciting. I'd do that. No. Now I just add people's name to the credits. If they've donated or subbed in any of the platforms. That's it. Just under the various supporters. You can actually get your name in the credits, I think, 5 times. Because you could be a YouTube member, you can gift on YouTube, you can sub on Twitch, you can buy bits on Twitch, and then, though I don't currently have it running right now, you can also sub on Kick. So you can actually have your name in the credits 5 times. For not much. I think I had like a minimum $5 donation to, so I didn't have to, people getting in the credits for a penny or something stupid, but I was like, oh yeah. That's so far the only thing you can really earn off doing that. I guess you get emojis and everything on the various things if you remember. So it's that. I need better names for these things. This one can be like 25 cents. Yeah, I just don't like this top shelf thing. In a real store, it would be like this. It's these windows are just messing with me. I don't know what I want to do with that. Just... I'm gonna grab these pillars for a second here. Maybe I'll space it out like this or something. They almost need like a glass case though or something. It's just weird otherwise. But a store would actually fill all the shelves too. Like there wouldn't be spaces like this in between. These probably need to be movable. Well, here's the issue right here like that. You're going to be out here. And this is a player experience problem that I'm going to have to address because they're going to hit this room and it's going to be weird. If it ever loads. And you're going to be like, oh, cool, I just ran around and found this super secret room. That's so great. And then you're going to open up here and you're going to see, well, when I have those loaded in, you're going to see these things spawned here. And that's weird. Because everywhere else these things have attacked. But in this one room, they're just here. And maybe it's not the most weird. I don't know. Like, they'll just be along these shelves. I need to add those to the outside world so that they spawn in like this so you don't see it flip in like that. But I think the player experience that I'm most worried about is they're going to see all these toys sitting here and they're going to wonder why. I guess I could line them up along the way, and it's not, I guess, not that weird because the world shouldn't cater to Poppet. I think is probably true there. These should be able to be hit and knocked around, I guess. Oh, I thought they should almost have like an alcove or something, but maybe they don't need it. Maybe I just fill the shelves up with a bunch of toys. I'm actually glad I tested that because the feel that I was expecting was not there. It was not the same at all. That's a problem I have that I'm guilty of a lot of times is I look at it as though it's a human. Right? From human height. But this is like from Poppet height, it's way down here. So I think in reality it should be closer to just having legions of these things here. I probably need to make them where they're actually like things can be knocked around though, for sure. Though that might be too many things here, so I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be a store. But I guess I will differentiate them a little bit. Maybe I'll put a divider between them-ish. I don't know. I guess I don't want it to be too cluttered. I want it to be more like a Disneyland feel where, you know, it's playfully off. We've decided the voodoo dolls are really popular for some reason. Should I have separate needles to sell too? Is that a thing? You're just selling random needles? That's kind of awkward in a toy store essentially. But needles to stab the voodoo dolls with? Like I said, playfully off is, I think, the term we're looking for here. Oh. I forgot. I'm definitely going to do something about these later, but job 1, design it. Job 2, make it actually optimized. Sure. Nope. But yeah, I should probably do the ducky thing. Where all these things are interactable. I'll need an in-game reason for why the toys don't come to life. In here. Which I don't know what it's going to be yet, but something. Guess I'm streaming a little longer than I thought I was going to. It really does help motivate when I actually work on these things, you know, like when I actually stream it, because it makes me sit there and do things I wasn't going to do. I don't get as distracted easy. Perhaps I should have some sort of more unique event in here. I gotta move Annie's on over too. Yeah, I definitely like this room now with all the stuff in here. Like, I'm gonna enjoy filling. I don't know what's gonna go over here yet, though. I'm gonna start doing that. It's my organization method. I'm gonna make these little toy store things like that. I'm gonna fill up for all the toys that you're gonna find in the area, and then use only those as the enemies for the area, so I don't have a bunch of extra crap. I kind of want something at the floor level. The toys down there too. I don't know what though. Cough, hack, wheeze. Let me grab an Annie's on and move her. I actually just need the first two numbers. I have to list some of these things out on item. I've considered a steampunk Roomba. It'd be funny. The problem is that a Roomba's not a toy. Like, I know they're funny and people use them kind of weird ways, but they're a vacuum cleaner. So it's like, if there's a Roomba here, it wouldn't be in the toy area. Like, they might be Roombas wandering around cleaning. Like, I could make a steampunk Roomba. But they wouldn't be in the shop, probably. If anything, they'd probably be made in some other factory, and then they just bought some for the clean the place. It's not like they're self-sufficient or anything. I need the location of her. Do the slow way here, but I forgot to expand this out. Need that. I need the other number here too, and that should be all I need specifically to fix this. I would normally drag it over. I would just do it on the other screen, but so you can see what I was doing. And then, which direction should she face? That's a good question. Like that, sure. I think I should have bigger toys. Amsterdam 1666 trailer? No, I haven't. I gotta admit, since I'm not listening to any kind of audio, it's kind of... The music's so inappropriate. I guess I could try this in the audio. They probably didn't copyright it. Maybe. We'll find out. Why not? Let's watch a thing here.
I was born to be the collector. To protect a world I cannot be a part of. Destined to be feared for what I am. It is my fate. I have devoted my life to facing them. Those granted the power to raise souls. Those corrupted by their gifts, tilting the ancient balance toward cataclysm.
Not gonna lie, I want to play as the cat more than I want to play as her.
Last,
That's just a random
then
cat.
out, still.
She doesn't look like a protagonist at all. She looks like a generic NPC. That cat looks menacing.
Has led me to this moment.
It leads the legions of other cats.
The moon bears witness. I take the first step. My time has come. I am ready.
I mean, he plays the cat. Okay, see, I like the cat part. Her, I don't really want to play as. She seems lame, but the cat, hear me out. The cat knows what's up. It's the problem. Everyone looks like a generic NPC. She looks like a generic NPC. That cat, though. That cat looks like it's about to, it's about to get real. Yeah. They spent more money on their cat model than the woman. The woman looks like a metahuman. Oh man. I mean, look, this could be an enemy you're attacking, just a regular enemy. Could be hurt too. Whatever. Oh, well, that's lame. I mean, I'm glad you downloaded that asset. I have that asset too. Thank you. Oh. See, now the cat sees all of them. Everything got real. They're seeing like crazy words. And yeah. The game should just be about the cat. What's this? This. I see. Well, I guess everyone needs DEI hires for their esque like Amsterdam 1666 game. Looks totally like fitting with the witch thing. Sure. Is this another trailer? Oh, same one. Well, some of this looks okay. Some of it looks not that great. Except the cat. The cat's a badass. I love the cat. Maybe that's what I should do. I should just be making the next Stray game, except for the cat's some demonic entity. I'd play that. Right? You'd play a game where you were playing as some demonic entity, like, as a cat, right? Sounds awesome. Down. Super down. Hell yeah. Like, where can I sign up for that? I don't know. I'm probably not going to play that game. Probably not. It doesn't look that good. It looks okay. To be fair, I don't really play any of the Assassin's Creed games either. Except for like the first two, I think. But And we were farther forward. Oops. That one's on me. People said Black Flag was good. I know the more recent ones where they were like, hey, yeah, don't instant kill things in your assassin game. I was like, that's lame. When they started giving you hit points, that was lame. No thanks. I'm good. Little grabby things. Oh, never mind. I'm on the rotator. Dude. Is that ancient Greece? Oh yeah, the remake looks stupid. They cut out all the hot chicks for some reason. They made it all DEI woke crap. I was like, but why? It was a great game. Everyone loved that version. They said so. They're like, nope. Mostly they just took out all the cleavage, and I just can't forgive them for such a terrible thing. We boycott games that do that stuff. To be fair, I never played it in the first place, so it's not really a meaningful boycott. I don't know, they just uglified a bunch of the women for some reason. To be fair, that might not be their fault. That might actually just be metahumans. Because metahumans are largely ugly. You gotta go and custom the things to make them not trash looking. It's not like Dad's models where everyone's like, you know, super sexy or anything. That's better. She's standing on the little thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll get around to play. Okay, the reality of the matter is I only play games that Epic gives me for free. This is just because I have so many games they give me for free that I don't need to buy any more games. I'm good. I have a whole laundry list of games I want to play, and I never got around to it. I remember that's like for yeah. There's no excuse for them making him ugly. Like when they did Expedition 3, they went out of the way to make the characters at least, you know, moderately attractive for a metahuman. Like, don't get me wrong, the women in there weren't very attractive, but they were more attractive than the average metahuman for sure. I don't want to hear a story about a bunch of ugly women. I'll say it. I don't. To be honest, I don't care if a guy is ugly, particularly because I don't care how a guy looks. But usually, I want a guy to look like a badass. That's what I'm looking for out of a male character. Like, I want him to look like a badass. Like, I want to feel like, you know, the most powerful, cool person in the whole world whenever I'm playing as that guy. Yeah. Like, I want a Kratos type of character. I want someone who's like, you know, Kratos, he's just a badass. You believe that Kratos can win these fights when the character should clearly never be able to win that fight. Yeah. That's fine. That's what I want. But if it's a woman, I just want her to be hot because, well, I'm just looking at her, to be honest. It's pretty much it. I'm just looking at her the whole time I'm playing the game. And if your character's some non-human thing, like something that isn't humanoid looking, like it's just like some weird animal or whatever, unless it's a cat, I'm probably not playing your game. I don't know why cats get an exception to this rule. I never played Stray, so I've never played a game where it's some random thing, but like I said, I'd probably play a game as a demonic cat, so, you know. But historically speaking, judging by the games I've played, having attractive characters, well, attractive women and badass guys is usually what gets me more likely to play your game. 100%. That's why I played the first Assassin's Creed. I mean, Altair seemed like a badass, but then every other assassin looked just like him, so it kind of took away from that, I think, for me. Because they all wear the same assassin outfit, and it's like, nah, I'm an NPC, yay! One of us. Yeah, I just need to fill these more things. I just don't know what's going to go down here. Something will go down here. Man, I already forgot the name of that BioShock game. Or the BioShock knockoff. Thought I'd add that to the thing to keep track of it. Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's fine. I don't care. I definitely have a short attention span for random games that I'm not currently playing. A lot of games don't stand out to me, I think is the problem. Like, they're forgettable. They're just so similar to each other that I just... Like, Epic gave me this one here. And I remembered it because it was so weird looking. Did he? That's unfortunate. I mean, I enjoyed Infinite. Infinite was cool. I'm gonna play the other ones at some point, just because they seem like they were okay. Yeah, I remember this game because it was just such a weird game. For what it was, but it was basically just Darkest Dungeon. But they gave this to me for free. I don't know how many years ago at this point.
London, 1899. The world has never seen a greater city.
I was mostly playing it for the steampunk ideas.
Technology, the greatest entertainment, and of course, the greatest assortment of mindless, ruthless killers.
It's just Darkest Dungeon, though. It's straight up Darkest Dungeon
Who prevails? The
with a
immortality
circus
of
attached to it.
Circus Electrique. The fire blower's fury. The acrobat's agility.
Here we go.
The strong man's strong manliness. They'll entertain all at the circus. They'll cause evil to fall on the streets.
But the main point of this is the aesthetic was what made me reminded me of it. Like,
Electrique.
it meant that I remembered it. Whereas a lot of these games, like, it's a Darkest Dungeon knockoff. Like, so like, if you just made a game that looked like Darkest Dungeon, I would not remember that. I'd remember Darkest Dungeon. But I remember this because it looks so different for its aesthetic. So, also I like the steampunk stuff, so I automatically like that better than I should. If fans want more Bioshock, then say take a long break and I always slip. I mean, you know, good games take a long time, so maybe the time he took in this new game is amazing. I mean, when you go indie, it's so much harder. I mean, sure, he probably had this ridiculous dreams, fit the AAA mold, and then when he went to indie, you know, it's just like, oh, maybe I don't have hundreds of millions of dollars to make my dreams come true. Probably. Oh, well, I mean, you can have a publisher and still be an indie. Like an indie studio that has a publisher. So I admit that once you, oh yeah. Well, I mean, 50-person team. I think you count as double A at that point. I just like I don't consider Expedition 33 an indie game. Look at that laundry list of credits where there's like hundreds of people and there ain't no indie game. And it's 36 people in their studio. And then they hired all these extra people to help out through all these things. It's like, you ain't no indie. So I just refer to those as like double A, where they have millions of dollars to put into their game. You know, these big, huge, I mean, because 50 people is pretty huge. You know, as an indie, you're making like one person, and maybe your team has like 3 people on it. Like, but yeah, well, I mean, the fact that even 40 full-timers would make you not an indie. That's a studio. That's not an indie. Those are like numbers that an indie couldn't even dream about. I'm like, what? I'd love that kind of money. This game would be finished super fast. It'd also be much bigger, probably. I have all these enemies, but I don't know if I want to put them in here. My issue is not that I don't want the enemies to show up here. It's that the this is earlier in the game, and there'll be a bunch of enemies that appear after the fact, but this will be in the demo. And I don't know if I'm supposed to put enemies that don't show up yet in here. I don't have enough things to fill it up otherwise up to this point without doing that, though. This wouldn't even work here. You couldn't even have one of these here because they have a particle in the center of them. And weird little rotatey things. I think about that one. That was probably not a good one to put out there. We could have a mini bugaboo, I guess. Which thing from Fab? I mean, a lot of my stuff's from Fab. Well, this is from Dad's, but the lamp. But this thing here, these lamps, those are from Daz. Not from Daz, those are from Fab. Or are you talking about, oh, this thing I made? Oh, this is an enemy. I made it out of parts and particle. And they the little heads rotate around it and they fire out. They're not very effective as an enemy overall. I need to make them more effective. But yeah. I can I'm probably gonna remove enemies from this room anyway, so. But now, a lot of the enemies I make with I have contraption enemies, and contraption enemies are built out of stuff, right? Like I just have all these pieces and I start moving them in here like that to make all these things. And they're cool because I can easily make them explode into pieces because I just launch all the pieces everywhere. Like I'll put some in here. Since I'm going to clear the enemies out of here anyway. Because I want to make this room creepier. I'll say 30. I guess these will be a level 5 or something. Maybe? I guess my mouse dying. Suck, mouse. Plug it in real fast. Yeah, that was one of my secrets to reduce the cost of the game, because I can have plenty of contraption enemies in the game, and that will I could probably have like 25 different contraptions in the game, and that's like 25 models I don't need. So I probably need at least 50 enemies in the game, including all the bosses and everything like that, because it's probably about 90 rooms. Not every room has an enemy, some have bosses too, so, and some have just, you know, little story things, so there'll be NPCs as well. Oh, I need a nav mesh. It spawns based on nav meshes, so if there's no nav mesh there, it can't spawn. It's looking. Like 50 or something, that'll work. I know the contraptions are my favorite enemies because I get to make them. Enemies? Hello? Weird. Oh, it's still building navigation on me? Sure. I forgot, you put it down, it builds a navigation, then you save, and it builds a navigation again. I don't know why. It shouldn't have to do it twice. It already built it. And yet, it does. It should spawn. Yeah. But they're not very effective. I guess there were lots of them to be effective. Yeah, they're just, these are rotating little things. Not every contraption is stationary, but these ones are. Yep, they have little floaty doll head things. And they respawn them and just fire again. Yeah, that's one of the things, is there's not a lot of narrow areas and things just randomly spawn in based upon, you know, encounters in the rooms. I thought about having them positions, but the issue with that is it's kind of hard to make them, you know, there's so much space for them to cover, but they don't make very good traps. So they might need to be made more effective. But they can't really make a very good stationary toy over here because they need all the particles to work. I guess you could just turn it off and not have the particles. That's true. Yeah, I found a bunch of doll pieces too, so I was able to make all kinds of weird crap.
London, 1899.
Apparently London, 1899.
Seen 'em.
The Epic Store thingy was still open. It is what it is. Alright. Should probably call it for the night. Just be back tomorrow. I'm trying to do like shorter streams, but more often. Because my health gets worse the longer I sit here. Not pretty decent so far today. All week I felt like trash, but even before the stream I was like, ooh. But, yeah, I'm just gonna start showing up like around what, like 2 a.m. Pacific time? Just every day, just to see. Yeah, thanks for hanging out and chatting with me. Double. I guess, do you like double styrofoam? Kind of, what do you like being called? Do I call you double? Do I call you styrofoam? Do I call you cup? Like, good question. I should probably ask these questions. I usually just shortcut to the first portion of someone's name and say that's just who they are. Adolf? Okay. I will attempt to remember that. I have the worst memory ever. Like a coked out goldfish when it comes to memory, but I feel it's understood. Yeah, thanks for hanging out and chatting with me. And like I said, if you get bored tomorrow, I'll be around. Hopefully, I don't know what I'll work on tomorrow. Maybe I'll work on actually making some of the enemies do something. I didn't actually accomplish a whole lot today. I don't know. Design stuff takes a while. Especially when I know what I'm doing. Or what I plan to do. Yeah, anyway. I'll be around tomorrow, and thanks for watching. And in the future, anyone who watches, hey, yeah, thanks as well. Catch y'all later. See you.